I've spoken about expectations previously. Going into the working environment, whether we set expectations or not, it's certainly going to be different to what we're used to. It's not going to be like school, it's not going to be like university. We'll come across some people that are out for the greater good and some that are out for themselves. We'll come across some managers that want to micromanage. We'll come across others that don't want to manage at all or don't know how to, that don't have any people skills. We have to be comfortable that what we are doing is beneficial to the company, the business, whatever it is, the people that we work for ourselves. And not take on board what other people are saying without first analysing why they might be saying it. Our self-worth is not based upon somebody else's opinion. When we ourselves started our own business, I think we were all paddling in the same direction. We had a business to build, so all of us, it was the greater good. So we would do things that, you didn't necessarily want to do. But at the end of the day, you had a vision of where the business would go. As time went on, for numerous reasons, this attitude changed. The business was making more money. The whole idea that we had that we wouldn't call ourselves directors because it makes the business look smaller if you're all a director, that changed. And people started calling themselves directors. I think people started getting an idea of who they were, or who they weren't, whichever way you want to look at it. And they started getting ideas about where they were within the business. And there were other reasons for that, with share percentages and this sort of thing. But the fundamental was that I shouldn't be and you should be, as opposed to us all being directors of business. And I think you find this in every business. Just because somebody is a manager, they don't think they should have to do something. And if we believe we are under or at a lower level than we believe we should, maybe we're just helping out. But sometimes it can be taken the wrong way. And I think this is a problem I had early on. Out of decency, when I asked the question, instead of saying I am going to South Africa on a 3-week-long tour, I said, I've been offered the opportunity. And I think that reinforced one of my partner's beliefs that he was my boss, when in actual fact that all he had was more shares in the business than me. And people can exaggerate that. But what we didn't do is we never communicated. So what he thought of me and what I thought of him was never really discussed. One of my other partners said we should have meetings, it's no good talking about things and never actually implementing them. So what happened over time, there was anger and frustration, which was just built up within the whole business, which is detrimental to the whole workings of the business. And if we were, which I don't ever really believe we were, working as a team, then it fell apart. If we can't see the bigger picture and see what's happening, then we have problems. I was speaking to one of my business partners after I came out of hospital, and I said I should have loved going to work. Instead, I hated the fact that I would have to go and sit in that office. I'd be living the day before I ever got there. I'd get out of bed and I'd be, I've got to go and see that guy. I've got to go into that environment. I was so stressed by the time I got to the office, I wasn't in a fit place to actually deal with any situation that came up. When I was told there's no money in what I was doing within that business, my self-worth went down. What we have to understand here is, why was it a trigger? Because I was drinking and I wasn't the person that I believed myself to be. Like I say, even if I knew who that was, I was on a slippery slope. I was falling apart emotionally and physically. So I was thinking I was worthless anyway. But what he was saying was reinforcing it. And I got a feeling he knew what he was doing. I think I was talking to a friend and he said they knew your triggers, and they did. So what I would do, I couldn't punch anyone like I really wanted to because I was told not to. So I'd run out the door. I'd go to the pub. I didn't want to be in that office environment, yet I wouldn't leave the business. So what, again, we have to think is, what's more important? Is it our job? If we can't communicate and resolve an issue, then we have to think about walking away. The toxic environment that we'd made, and I think everyone within it suffered within that environment in their own way, was certainly killing me. The stress levels, you can't function properly anyway. So we really have to, again, awareness, take a step back and think about what is important, because we will put in, oh, I can't do it because of the money, and if you're dead, you can't spend money. All your relationships will fall apart. Everything in your life will fall apart. And you've got to think, why?